Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to crack one of the trickiest puzzles in English grammar, figuring out the difference between a noun clause and an adjective clause. Trust me, by the time we're done here, you'll be spotting these like a pro. So let's just start with this sentence right here. The boy who is playing is my brother. Now, is that clause a noun clause or an adjective clause? This is exactly the kind of thing that trips people up, especially on exams. But don't you worry, we are going to solve this thing together for good. Okay, so before we can start identifying our grammar suspects, we've got to go back to basics. We need to understand the fundamental building block. Every good detective has to know the fundamentals first, right? So what even is a clause? Well, it's actually pretty simple. At its heart, a clause is just a group of words that has to have two things, a subject and a verb. That's it. Think of it like a mini sentence, subject plus verb. Got it? Awesome. All right, let's bring in our first suspect, the noun clause. We're going to investigate what this thing is and what its job is inside of a sentence. A good way to think about it is as the something in a sentence. So, what is a noun clause? Well, simply put, it's a whole group of words that does the exact same job as one single noun. It's not describing a noun. It's literally stepping in and being the noun in the sentence. It is the thing. And since it acts like a noun, it can play all the same rules. It can be the subject of the sentence, the one doing the action, or it can be the object, the one getting the action. Basically, anywhere a regular noun can fit, a noun clause can too. It's super flexible. Now, here are your first major clues. You'll want to keep an eye out for these words because noun clauses often start with them. Words like that, what, who, why. If you see one of these, it's a huge signal you might be looking at a noun clause. Let's see this in action. Take the sentence, I know that she is honest. Ask yourself, what do I know? I know that she is honest. See? That entire chunk of words is acting as the object of the verb know. And this brings me to a really cool, super simple trick to know for sure if you found a noun clause. All you do is take that whole clause and swap it out with the word something. If the sentence still makes sense, bam, it's a noun clause. So with our last example, it becomes, I know something. And hey, that makes perfect sense. All right, let's move on to suspect number 2, the adjective clause. Now this one has a completely different job. If the noun clause is the thing, the adjective clause describes the thing. Let's see how that works. Just like the name tells you, an adjective clause works just like a single adjective. Its one and only purpose in life is to describe or give us more information about a noun or a pronoun that's already in the sentence. Okay, you might be looking at this list and thinking, wait a minute, some of these words are the same as before. And you're absolutely right. There is some overlap, but don't panic. The trick to telling them apart is all about what they do, and we're getting to that right now. So let's go back to our very first sentence. The boy who is playing is my brother. Here, the clause, who is playing, isn't acting as the boy. Instead, it's telling us more about the boy. Which boy are we talking about? Oh, the one who is playing. It's describing the boy. And this brings us to the test for an adjective clause. It's all about its location and its relationship to its neighbors. Just look at the noun or pronoun that comes right before the clause. Is the clause giving you extra details about that specific noun? If the answer is yes, you've found an adjective clause. Okay, so we've investigated both of our suspects. We know what they look like and how they operate. Now it's time for the final showdown. Let's put them side by side so the differences become totally, completely clear. So here's the bottom line. It all comes down to this one fundamental difference in their job. A noun clause is the noun. An adjective clause describes a noun. One is a player in the game, the other is just the announcer, giving details. This chart breaks it all down perfectly. First, look at their work. One acts, the other describes. Then, think about the questions they answer. A noun clause answers what or who, but an adjective clause answers which one or what kind. And this is a big one, position. An adjective clause almost always has to come right after the noun it's describing. Okay, let's wrap all this up into the single most important takeaway from today. This is your ultimate tip, the thing you can use on any test, in any situation, to get this right every single time. Here's the whole strategy. First, find the main noun that's connected to the clause you're looking at.
Then you're just going to ask 2 super simple questions to solve the entire puzzle. This is your key to becoming a grammar detective.
And here it is, the master trick. Just ask yourself one of these 2 things. Is this clause naming something, an idea, a fact, a thing? If yes, it's a noun clause. Or is this clause describing a noun that's already there? If yes, it's an adjective clause. Naming versus describing. That is the entire game right there.
So let's test drive this new tool. I know the place where he lives. The clause is where he lives. So is it naming something or is it describing the noun right before it, the place? Yeah, it's telling us which place it's describing it, so that means it has to be an adjective clause. See? So easy. And now it's your turn to put on the detective hat. Take a look at this final sentence. Why he is late is a mystery. Is the clause why he is late naming the mystery itself, or is it describing something else? Go on, apply that master trick. You have all the tools now. You can totally do this.